This is the Corroboree tree frog. It's a type of frog that is native to Australia. There's two species, the northern and the southern. And as you may guess from the very bright patterns and colors, it is poisonous and very toxic. However, this poison is different from every other known poison from vertebrates that is currently known. Every poisonous vertebrate that is known doesn't actually produce its own poison. It gets its poisons from things like poisonous plants or insects or other invertebrates that it ingests through its diet. Or from something like a symbiotic relationship with toxic bacteria, where the bacteria is the one that is producing the toxin, not the actual animal itself. That is the case with pretty much everything else from fish to frogs to the poisonous bird that I talked about a while ago. They don't actually produce their own poison. But in the case of the Corroboree frog, it is the only known vertebrate that actually makes its own pretty much from scratch. They produce their very own toxic alkaloid called pseudophrenomine, and they are the only things that do this. They basically build this alkaloid up from scratch and then secrete it from their skin to deter predators. Now, I actually could not find a whole ton about the poison itself, about how toxic it is, how it works, its cellular mechanisms, or anything like that. What I could find is it can be fatal if ingested in high enough amounts, but I couldn't find the LD50 or like how it works, any mechanisms of it about how it causes death or anything. So as of right now, there really isn't that much known about the poison as far as I can find, other than the fact that this frog is the only thing that can produce its own poison like that in its group of animals. Unfortunately, it is now classed as critically endangered due to infection by a fungus, as well as the increasing number of bushfires in Australia where it's found. There are conservation efforts. This isn't an endangered species spotlight, this is more just talking about the cool frog. But there are conservation efforts. Regardless, it is still a very cool little frog and is like absolutely fascinating that it can just do this on its own.